And here we are to day 2 of parabolas. This time we're going the opposite direction. We want to write the equations given some information about each parabola. To write the equation, we need to know 3 things. We need to know what is A, what is H, and what is K. And our book for some reason calls this standard form, but I've always known this as vertex form, so that's what we're calling it. That's where I see it most places, as vertex form. All right, so remember the origin is the H and K for the first one, because the origin is the vertex, so that's our H and K. And then this is a random X and Y that's on our parabola. So we're going to use that information to solve for A. So I plug in everything I know. So I get 18 equals A times 3 minus 0 squared plus 0. And this ends up being 3 squared, which is 9. Divide both sides by 9, and A equals 2. So I now know that H and K are both 0 and A equals 2. So I can write my equation y equals 2 times x minus 0 squared plus 0, which is just y equals 2x squared. And B, our vertex again is the origin. And we're given a point that is somewhere on our graph, in this case negative 2, 3. So I plug in everything I know, my x and my y and my h and my k. So I get 3 equals A times negative 2 minus 0 squared plus 4. Well, this ends up being negative 2 squared, plus 0. This ends up being negative 2 squared, which is 4. So 3 equals 4A. Divide by 4, 3/4 equals A. So I take my A, my h, and my k and plug them in and get y equals 3/4 times x minus 0 squared plus 0, which is just y equals 3/4 x squared. The next 2 examples, our vertex is no longer at the origin. So this time we have an H and K that are not 0. And then we still have a point on our graph. So please be careful to plug these into the correct places. The vertex are H and K. The point are X and Y. So I get 15 equals A times negative 6 plus 2 squared plus 1 plus 2, because remember it's always X minus H. And since this is negative, minus a negative became plus a positive. So this ends up being negative 4 squared, so we get 15 equals 16A plus 1. Subtract 1, 14 equals 16A. Divide by 16, and A equals 7/8. So y equals 7/8 times x plus 2 squared plus 1. All right, one more to go, and we're all done. So this time our vertex is negative 1, 2, so that's our h and our k. The point is 0, negative 7. So I plug in and get negative 7 equals A times 0 plus 1 squared plus 2. This is just 1 squared, which is 1, so I get negative 7 equals A plus 2. Subtract 2, and A equals negative 9. So plug in the A, plug in the h and k, and we get y equals negative 9 times x plus 1 squared plus 2. And that is it for day 2 of parabolas, writing equations. Thank you, folks. Bye.